Welcome back to DS Trucks. In today's video, I want to talk about the new reflector headlights that you're going to get on your Lariat Super Duties. In the past, you got HIDs when you got the Lariat Ultimate package, but they dropped that for Lariat in 2023 and started doing these new reflector style LED headlights where there's no bulb in there, I don't think, but there's some kind of a reflector trickery going on. How do they perform? I got the question on the channel, how do you like those reflector headlights? Now, looking at this through the camera, it's kind of hard to see because these C-rings around this truck are so bright. I believe we turned these up with 4Scan, making the C-rings even brighter. And you can, when you're standing here looking at it with your eyes, not a problem, but the camera's just having a hard time seeing it. So the C-rings being turned up, I honestly didn't like that on the last truck that I had, but on this truck I do like it because it's more light and it's helping me see a little bit better, because I don't think these reflectors are as quite as good as the outgoing HID headlights. So let's go ahead and get inside the truck. It's night, well, it's morning, but the sun's not up yet, and we're gonna be able to maybe give you guys a little bit of a point of view on how these headlights perform and my thoughts on the headlight situation. So we're in the truck and throw this girl in drive. Clip this microphone on me. So inside of the truck here, and yeah, I don't believe these headlights are as good. This is kind of how it looks with the camera, and the camera, you know, the camera just doesn't see as good as the eye. The field of view is not as big, and it's just not as good of, the camera's not as good as handling the light situations like my eye can. I'd imagine some people can't see at night, but I can still see at night. This camera having a little bit of a hard time seeing. So pulling out of the car wash. There's a Valero fuel station. You see how high diesel is right now. We're at $4.49 a gallon, so basically $4.50 a gallon for diesel. But I got a little spot near me that I can get diesel for $4.09 instead of $4.59. Marathon station. So let's hook this right. This is Metro Drive. It's a real dark road, perfect for looking at these lights. So kind of a little trickery. This is one of the things that Ford doesn't really talk too much about when they're pulling trickery. They didn't really tell us about the headlights, and they don't advertise about the headlights. At the time when I ordered this truck, and I had to order this pretty early on in order to get it, I had no idea what kind of headlights were going to come on it. I didn't know if it was going to be these reflectors. I didn't even know there were reflector headlights available. So any kind of downgrade that Ford had to do, they didn't tell us. And I kind of wish they would have told us. So right now, this is how it looks. Now, they're not bad when the brights kick on. So if I kick on the brights, I just turn them on. That's not too bad. But that's too freaking bright for the oncoming traffic. And when you turn them off, it's okay. Now, like I was saying, they're not telling us the downgrades, and I feel that they should somehow let us know, because it is a big upsell to get the better headlights in order to get a higher trim level, in order to get a platinum, so I guess at the end of the day, it's kind of something that would get you into a more expensive truck, but these higher trim level trucks are real expensive. This truck at 86,000 versus like a platinum, which would have cost freaking 100 plus. I mean, I don't even know how much they are, but platinum 450 just to get those headlights, I don't know, probably easy up to $100,000 range. Another downgrade that I wasn't aware of, and I went into the truck and tried to spec it to be something that I could afford, get the MSRP down, but get what I want, you know. So I go through the custom building. One of the things I took off of the truck was Pro Trailer. But when I did that, I didn't know that I was going to be downgrading the entire steering system, which is not really a big deal. But in downgrading, I'm going to turn around here, see, because there's so much traffic, my automatic headlights are not kicking, and I want them to kind of turn on and to flicker so you can see what that's like. But in downgrading to the Pro Trailer, I wasn't aware. I should have been made aware. I mean, the Pro Trailer backing up stuff only saved me a little bit of money, and I would have gotten that if I would have known that I was going to lose those steering components. Now, it's not a huge deal because the truck still drives really good, and in some ways it drives better without those steering components, but my low speed maneuvering is so much harder with this truck, and I'm going to be doing a ton of low speed maneuvering with the truck in some tight places. Now, a lot of people might say, well, how are you going to, see, it's got to be an auto. So now the headlights are in auto. These are the brights, and when it sees another vehicle's lights, it has some kind of algorithm. It uses some kind of camera technology in order to be able to turn the lights on and off so that it's not blinding other people. It's all automatic. But I would have definitely I need to be able to maneuver this trailer in some relatively small places. You might be thinking, this truck is too big, but I'm telling you, this wide track axle really makes this thing dance around some tight lots. So with this truck, you get the best of all worlds. You got a really large truck, tons of carrying capacity, 8-foot bed, and you can do dime turns around small lots with a plow on the truck. So for me, it's like an everything type of truck, incredible payload, capable of a lot more than what's on the sticker easily. Just an overall impressive machine of a truck that can do literally everything that I needed to do. I can be picking up the kids from the daycare or from school. I could be going straight to work while working. They could be in the back seat with tablets. It's just an overall. Now, there's definitely trucks that can do certain things better than this, but this is kind of like a jack of all trades type of a truck. But anyway, knowing that I was going to lose that, I would have definitely. So maybe that's where this channel can help some people if they're ordering these trucks. Maybe, things are definitely going to change as far as the ordering process and what's being dropped and chip shortages and all that. But I had no idea that the steering components were going to be this way. I kind of had an idea of the headlights being kind of weird, but still, I didn't officially know that the headlights were going to be dropped, the HID headlights, or what they were going to be doing. So I think if I could find the HID headlights down the road, OEM, I would be interested in upgrading, taking these out and rewiring and putting those in. But for now, I guess these are okay. The brights are definitely good enough. Still not as bright as the HIDs were, but the low beams leave a little bit to be desired, I think. They do get by, but also I feel that for what these headlights are, they almost should have just either put halogen bulbs in here and left the end user with the option to switch out the bulbs. Why do they always have to make things so overly complicated? For all these years, we've been taking our bulbs out of the truck and switching them to LED bulbs. No issues with that for the most part. I've got Oxydo LED bulbs in my 350. Those, I mean, I think those perform, as you can see, they're turning off the brights as soon as they can see those headlights, and then the car passes and the brights are back. But I think those Oxydo headlights perform just as well, maybe better, than these reflectors. So why wouldn't you figure out, I think it would have been better for them, for the end user, if they would have figured out how they can put just a bulb in here, if it's an LED reflector type of bulb, because I do not think we can change these bulbs to anything else. So if they would have put a halogen bulb in here, and then I get the truck and I spend $100 or 150, 200, I don't even know how much they cost. They usually send them to me, to be fully honest with you. I couldn't tell you what a freaking Oxydo bulb cost, but I can tell you that I've got the Oxydos in my truck. They perform just like these. Which one's better? It's hard to say. Maybe the Oxydos are better, maybe these are better, but same thing at the end of the day. But I can switch those bulbs out and it kind of does the same thing. But these bulbs, I can't switch them out. So if a bulb comes around that is better, that can somehow put out more light or more intensity, I can't switch to that bulb because I didn't start with the halogen. So I think it would have been better for them just to either start with the halogen or start with a bulb that I can just take out of the socket and put in. But the OEMs always take things to like a whole nother level of complexity. Why did my screen turn off? What the? This is real time. The truck is literally freaking out and the screen turned off. What's going on here? Freaking technology. What the? It all just reset. Okay. Okay. Anyway, why does everything need to be so overly complicated to the point where you've got to make it some kind of LED reflector? I don't know where the bulb is on this truck. I don't know where, I don't understand. It's a whole new design that I've never even seen before. Maybe it's because, and there's my phone again, weird. Maybe it's because at the end of the day, it's cheaper for them somehow to design it this way and then to produce it this way. It's probably going to be a headache for the end user, especially if something ever goes wrong. Then you have to go to the dealer and you can't switch the bulb. Like if the bulb fails on this, they probably would tell you, hey, you need a whole new headlight or something crazy, and it's going to be like $2,000 a headlight or something. This is going to be like an extreme expense. To switch out the headlights, but yeah, that's just one of my, those are my 2 or 3 main complaints. The third complaint, again, they're not telling you the downgrades on the options when you get them. The Pro Power eliminates part of your 12 volt system. We don't know that though when we're ordering these trucks, and a lot of people, I think, me for sure, I want as much 12 volt power in amperage that I could possibly get, and I need to know if adding a feature is taking another feature away. So if I'm going to add the Pro Power, of course I want Pro Power. Why wouldn't I want good power out of my outlets? It makes zero sense for me not to have good power coming out of my outlets when I can have 120 volts and 2 kilowatts and all this. But in order to get that, you eliminate your second alternator and turn that into a dedicated generator. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have a dedicated generator and then little baby batteries and stuff and all this stuff going on with the truck where I could have just had full power to my alternator. So my thought process on this truck, if I were to reorder this whole truck, I would do no Pro Power. I would go ahead and add the Pro Trailer to get the low speed maneuverability, because the Pro Trailer, it has another steering component. It's the motor that allows the steering wheel to rotate without you touching it. It also assists you while you're driving, or like for low speed. So now I feel like I'm turning. I've never had a vehicle ever that required this much effort to steer. Like no car. I've never driven a vehicle, and I've got a CDL-A. I've driven semi-trucks. Even a semi-truck is easier to turn than this truck. Like it's a weird way. I mean, it's good. I mean, I guess you can call it feel, but the problem is, if I maneuver this truck for 15 hours for work, I might get, I don't know, but I'm thinking I could very well be fatigued. Now, here's a problem where, like, I'm going here, I can't see good enough. Like, I'm trying to see where to make my turn here, and I can't, like, see good. So there's a car. Maybe if this car passes, my brights will turn back on. But this is one of those turns that's kind of hard to see for me. But yeah, I know it's supposed to be only about headlights, but it turned into the downgrades on the truck and which ones are kind of a little bit annoying to me. Yeah, these hidden downgrades on the 23s, maybe I'll do a video on just that. But maybe I'm just driving that topic too hard. But I want people to know, you know, when you're ordering these trucks, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are ordering these trucks and looking for every savings that they can get. Every single savings that you can get. If you're ordering a plow truck, snow plow truck, a lot of people are going to be plowing with Ford Superduty trucks. If you're ordering one of these trucks for snow, get the Pro Trailer, because they're dropping features that for snow, for low speed maneuverability. Now, maybe you're not driving a truck, maybe your workers are driving a truck. They're going to be more efficient at the end of the day if they have the steering support. For you to have to, when I turn this wheel, when I turn the steering wheel, I legit can't maneuver this with one finger like I used to. Like it takes a lot of muscle. Now, it's not that I can't turn it. It's 20 hours, 15 hours of driving this vehicle and plowing snow and then having to make some tight turns. That is where we really will struggle, I think. So will I go ahead, what do I do from here? Will I go ahead and somehow figure out how to put that motor on the truck, or do I just reorder the whole truck? That's kind of the situation. I don't like having to reorder the whole truck though. You know, once I would like to just settle down with the truck and just be good for the life of the truck, but a couple small things that I don't like, I'm not sure on yet. So the Pro Power, not happy that I'm losing the alternator performance that I would like to have. I would rather have on the Pro Power side, 1,000 watts, or I mean, at least 1,000 watts of power. But give me my freaking dual alternators, because I'm gonna be running 1,000 pounds of snow plowing off of the front end. 1,000 pounds of a machine or a blade on the front that I've got to lift up over and over and over again for hours and hours and hours. And then I'm going to be running a giant freaking salt spreader on the back. And all that stuff takes up so much 12 volt. And sometimes with that salt spreader, it will jam up and not be able to push the material out of it. And that is kind of irritating. So I've been finding that if I am jammed up and I just kind of rev the engine just a little and turn that thing all the way up, it'll unjam. And I think it just comes down to that 12 volt side being so robust. It can just have that little bit of extra push in order to free it up. And I wonder if having just that much less amperage on the 12 volt side is going to make any kind of difference when it comes to running, equipment like that. I don't know yet. Maybe the one alternator is good enough, but like I say, tell us of our downgrades if you're going to downgrade things. We a lot of people are like, hey, I don't want Pro Trailer because I just don't use it ever. And if I can save a little money and not get it, then I'm not going to get it. Little do they know, they're losing the ability for the vehicle to maneuver. Maybe I feel it more because it's a 450, but the thing drives good, don't get me wrong, but it just drives heavy. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm sorry that it turned into a video on the downgrades, but maybe I'll just do a separate video on just that, the downgrades of going to the ordering process here on the new trucks. But anyway, guys, my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. This is my 23 450. Subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you in the next one. Over and out.